I'm Suzanne Sibylla. I'm the owner of Sibylla and Associates, which is the premier leadership and employee development company. Overcome obstacles, reframe your reality, love life, and have growth goals. Change and shift your energy. Pivot. Welcome, everyone. I'm Suzanne Sibylla, your host of Pivot Now, where we bring on interesting, exciting, and dynamic guests who will share with us their tips, tricks, and life and business hacks to help you pivot in your life. I'm super excited to bring this guest on our show. He's absolutely amazing. You're going to love him. Let me tell you a little bit about him. He graduated from the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in Pasadena. Actually, it's the same school that I attended. It's so much fun. He also has a background in acting, film production. He's also a master acting coach, and he's the co-founder of JDS Studios. They actually have a festival coming up. It's called DigiFest Temecula. He's going to tell us all about it. Welcome to Pivot Now, Scott Strand. Let's go. Woo!
Thank you.
Let's bring it on.
Woo!
I love it. Welcome, Scott. Woo!
Wow, I love the energy in this. This is so exciting.
Yeah, love it. We got to bring the excitement on, right?
Absolutely. Let's do this.
Absolutely. So tell us about your pivot.
Okay, so as a creative, there's been several. The very first pivot when we were younger was my wife. Well, she wasn't my wife then, but we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and we were just actors in Hollywood, trying to find jobs. We had a great group of friends who were all actors. So instead of just auditioning and trying to be actors, we said, let's do a production company. Let's do a theater company. And we brought our friends together and we created this little Images and Imaginations children's theater thing. And what we did is we figured out how to connect with the Los Angeles Unified School District. And they would bus in kids into Hollywood to see the shows that we did.
Oh, that's great.
So we could pay our friends a little bit of money. Everyone was acting and we were, getting paid to do it. Now, of course, that was a pivot before we really knew what we were doing. And I can talk a little bit about it, but of course we put it all on a credit card. So that taught us to quickly figure out financial literacy and what we had to do financially. And so luckily it wasn't a complete disaster, but we did 3 rounds of shows. We were at the Tamarind Theater, the Hudson Theater, and it was just so much fun to have a group of friends we were doing musicals and just bringing these kids in and having a ball. And the school district loved it. And it was so funny because you fast forward 20 years and it just randomly, I didn't think there was enough acting in the schools when we had kids at the elementary school. And I created a little drama club. And I figured that little drama club was going to be 10 or 15 kids and we'd do some plays and have fun. Well, we had 60 kids sign up for the very first drama school.
That's great.
At one school. Wow. And then the district invited us to go to 3 other schools. So it just became huge. And it's one of those things, see a need, fill a need. And I saw that need and I filled it and I had no idea the potential of it. So
that's amazing. I love it. That is so great.
We already had our production company, so we were working from home. And that pivot forced us to actually get a brick and mortar because we needed to service all of these kids, teens, and even adults who wanted acting lessons. They wanted to be creative. They wanted to be actors. And that completely changed our business model and our thinking and the way we did things.
That's so great. I love it. I mean, I love that story. The background story is amazing. So how did you overcome obstacles? Because I'm sure you had some obstacles or challenges in your path. How did you overcome that?
Yeah, growth is just one of those things. And you need to be comfortable in the unknown. you
So
know,
true, isn't it?
you just,
Yeah.
and I say it to actors I coach too, is, that awkwardness, you got to be comfortable being awkward. And
Mm,
for a business owner, this growth is going to be awkward. It's going to be hard. So bringing on the first person was such a decision. It had always been just the two of us. And when we grew to a certain point, we're like, it's more than just the two of us can manage. We need someone in administration to take
mm,
some of the burden away from what my wife Diane was doing. So that
mhm.
was the very first hire was we needed, a personal type of assistant administrator for Diane. And that's tough because you just don't know who you're bringing into your confidence
Yep.
because
Yeah.
the person we're sharing all this technical information, all our personal information,
Mm-hmm.
someone, right? Financials, everything. They need access to that to help Diane do what she needs to do. And so, yeah, that was an obstacle getting that first employee in place. Yeah, that was a big obstacle. It's your human resources, right?
Yeah, exactly. You need that as a foundation of what you're doing. I
Yeah.
mean, so true. I mean, how many employees do you have now?
Well, under the nonprofit, we have 16 employees.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it blows me away every day. I just love the
Yeah.
fact that, we have a support team that's good at what they do. That's the highlight is finding quality people who believe in your vision and want to follow what
Mm,
you do.
yeah, so true. So this part of the show, we call it three, two, one, go. So give us three tips, two strategies, and one action item to pivot our lives forward.
Wow. Okay. This is cool. All right. So number one, be prepared.
Mm,
Just get your ducks in a row. Be prepared. If you're going to pivot and make changes in your business, boy, you got to be prepared. Number two, be authentic.
mm,
People are resistant to change. It can be your employees or your family or your clients who are resistant to the fact that you're going to pivot a little bit. So be
mm-hmm.
authentic. You have to just be grounded and honest that, hey, we are making changes.
I love that one. I love that. That gets a heart and a fire.
Hey,
That one
thumbs up.
does. I love that. Be authentic. That's so true. Love that.
Yeah, because who's going to trust you? Hey, I'm
Yep.
doing this now and now I'm going to do that. And they're like,
Right.
well, where are you? Who are you? And if you're authentic
Mhm.
and you are honest in changes you're making, your clients will be okay with it. Or the ones that are going to stay and they're going to understand why. And let's see, number three, just be passionate. When
Mm.
you are passionate and authentic and prepared to make a change, it will happen. It won't be exactly what you're thinking when you go to make that change, but it will happen.
That's a good one too. I love that. That gets a heart. That's so great. I love it. Be passionate. Yeah, you got to be passionate
Absolutely.
about what you're doing, right? It's not just a job. You have to really have a vision and be passionate about what you're doing and serving
Yeah.
people. So
Yeah.
important.
And
Love it.
clients, friends, and family, and even employees, they will follow you. They will
Yes.
say, okay, we're on board with this pivot. And that's really what we
Hmm.
need. We need that support.
And
And
that
that's okay.
leadership too,
Oh,
because they see
absolutely.
that in you. They'll see, wow, this person is really passionate about what they're doing, and they'll want to follow. They want to follow that. So that's excellent. Love that tip. Love those tips. So
Yay.
two strategies.
All right. First strategy for sure is a financial strategy.
Mm,
Get your financials in order. Sometimes we just go to the bank and we leave the bank and we hope everything's good there. And, when you need financial literacy means being on top of what you're doing, what's happening in your business, and make friends of your bank manager and your loan department people.
mm,
Because if you need capital, they're the ones who are going to say yes on those things. So I love the fact I can walk into the bank, they know me, I can sit at the desk and they'll say, what do you need today? And I'll say, there
hmm,
were some fees. Like I was handling my parents' estate as they got older. There wasn't a lot
hmm,
there, but they could no longer financially care for themselves.
hmm.
So I would walk in and say, okay, they're going to have some overdraft fees. I know it's going to happen. Can you please just waive those fees? And they were like, absolutely.
Hmm.
Like, and And then they said, we're going to do this monthly for you just to make sure. Because I knew they were going to fall below that limited balance. Like you can't go below this in an account, but there was no
Mm-hmm.
way between their veteran, their VA, and their Social Security that their monthlies wouldn't fall below that minimum.
Mm.
And and the manager's like, I got you. Don't worry. And she goes, it was automatically reoccurring. Any fees will be deducted if it hits the account every month. And that was a blessing for me, knowing that, you know, they're going to dip below it. Diane and I are going to help, and then we'll catch up again each month. It was going to be that way. And so for several years, they took care of us, and I loved that. And other things like, you need a loan, you better have good credit, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
one of the
So,
ways we do that is managing our debt. It's
mm-hmm.
okay to be in debt as long as you're servicing it and managing it. Your credit
Yeah.
rating gets really high because you're a good borrower.
Mm-hmm.
So get your financial literacy in order and don't be afraid to go in that bank and make friends.
I think that is so true and excellent, excellent advice. Because I think a lot of times too, as creatives, right, and creativepreneurs tend to
Yes.
focus on the creative aspect and very spontaneous and may not be as organized in that way and not really thinking about the financial aspect, which is super important, especially if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur. The financials are the number one important thing. And know your banker. That's, I think, is extremely important. Love that
Yeah.
tip. Love that strategy. What's the second strategy that you would give us?
Community. Build your
Mm,
community
yes.
and lean into your community.
Mm,
Wherever you're at, get involved in the chamber, get involved in economic development, volunteer for boards if they need help, they need direction on nonprofits. They always need responsible board members who can help direct nonprofits. That's going to be your community. And the more you give, the more you get. And
mm-hmm.
we were blessed in our production company. We still have our for-profit side, and there's only 3 full-time employees. So
Mm-hmm.
we got nominated as the Bronze Business of the Year, which is 5 employees or less, and we won. And
Wow,
yeah, this
congratulations.
just
That
happened
is
last
so
week.
great. That's a fire. That's a fire. That's
And
fantastic.
it wouldn't have happened without so much involvement in our community because it was through the Chamber of
Mm,
Commerce. And the
uh-huh.
thing is, like, our nonprofit 4 years ago, we won for the Organization of the Year, Emerald Organization of the Year, for our nonprofit. And that we kind of felt like, yeah, we do really good work in the nonprofit. We work with adults with autism, neurodiverse, and
Mm,
special needs. So it
uh-huh.
really, we knew we were making an impact, and that award like just sort of validated how we felt. The communities embraced us, they know what we do, so that was great. But our little for-profit side, the little production company, never really thought about it. And we'd been nominated like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. We had nominations for our production company, and never really thought about it. That's nice to be nominated. So going
Mm-hmm.
into this year, we went to the gala. We took some of our board members. We were just having fun, and then they called our name, and I was just like, "Are you kidding me?" Like for JDS Studio, really? And so to go up there and to talk about it, and then we had the city manager as we were exiting the stage. He jumps up and runs over and hugs us, and then
Oh, that's great. I love it.
one of the council members who was the mayor in the last term jumps up and hugs us. And so it's that kind of community that will
Mm.
support you and support your business. And so yeah, that strategy is so important. Be involved in your community and build it.
I love that. I think that is super important as well as community, community, community. And there's also a lot of online communities as well. If you have an online business, in fact, that's how I met your wife, Diane, is through the
Yeah,
online mastermind.
that's right.
Was through that, and then we actually ended up going to a different mastermind as well. So it's connection and community is so important, and then to be involved in your community wherever your business is located as well. Like you said, Chamber of Commerce is really important as well. So I love that. So what would you say is a tip to pivot our lives forward?
Okay.
What actions can we take?
You know what? Build your personal brand. And I think
Mm,
you probably know this too, is, our generation, I'm the tail end of the boomers and into the Xers, right? I'm right in that
yeah.
cusp. And we were like, whatever, what, social media, okay, whatever, say hi to some old
Uh-huh.
friends, right? We don't think of it that way. But the more current generations, they are making a lot of money on their personal brands.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
we
yeah.
are in the process of doing that right now. Diane's really done really good work in that area. I'm now
Mm-hmm.
picking up my personal branding. And, you have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
all of these that you can build a brand on, and across those platforms, even YouTube, all your Instagram reels can go right onto YouTube too.
Yep.
So if you
Yes.
start building all the way across all those platforms where you're just documenting what you do, talking about your business, it doesn't take a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just a way for people to know, like, and trust you, because that's who we do
Exactly.
business with, right? People
Yep.
we know, like, and trust. So
Mm-hmm.
building your personal brand and start now will really help with your pivot and your business.
Love that. That is so cool. Yeah, so true. I mean, building the brand is so important, especially in our day and age, right? Because everything is
Yep.
digital, and also with AI, AI can help a lot as well in building the brand. So I love that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about this festival that's coming up, DigiFest Temecula.
Digifest Temecula. It will
Yeah,
be
woo! Let's bring it on. Let's bring it on.
that
Yeah.
is coming up at the end of April. It's the 25th, 26th, and 27th. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a 3-day festival. We have some wonderful entertainment. We've got great speakers from film and television. We're going to have Drusilla, who is from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh,
She's going to
wow.
be one of our keynotes.
Cool.
Um, what's it, Landau, Jessica Landau? I have to think of her name. This is terrible. I should know her name. And we also have Denise Duff, who was on the Species, Subspecies. She was the lead actress on that series of movies. She's been on Young and the Restless. She's also been an agent, photographer, a director.
Oh my
And now
God. Amazing.
she
Cool.
is a 7 or 8 figure entrepreneur in the cosmetic space. And she did it
Wow.
by building a personal brand, and then it's actually her line of cosmetics that she created and then presented to all her followers, and boy, it has taken off. She's in spas. She made a great visit down here. We didn't even know. She's like, oh, I'm in Murrieta. And we're like, because she's living in Florida now, and we're like,
Uh-huh.
what, you're right down the street. So she popped over, and Myriad Day Spa, a spa that Diane and I go to do couples massages and hang out, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Her brand is in our spa there. I'm just
Oh,
like, what?
wow.
So she's there
That's
at the
cool.
spa talking to people and showing us the brand on the shelves. And I'm like, that is so cool. What a small
Yeah.
circle that we all live in, right?
Yeah. I love it. That is so great.
And then we
Wow.
have Jorge Gutierrez, who he's the animator and director of Book of Life, that
Oh,
amazing
okay.
animated feature. He's also done several television shows and other incredible artwork. So he's also our Sunday night speaker for keynote. He's an amazing person. He is also on the autism spectrum.
Oh,
And he found out later in life because his son was autistic.
oh,
So
okay.
once he was diagnosed and the doctor was going over everything, he went, "Oh my gosh, that's me. That's how I was growing up. I
Hmm.
think I'm autistic." And they tested him, and he is.
Wow.
Wow, and he's an amazing animator, and he's an artist. And not only that, but then he realized his father was too, because he's like,
That's
"Wow, that
great.
makes
Yeah.
sense now." The social distance that my father always carried,
Mm.
he also would have been on the spectrum, although we didn't know what that was back then, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're talking
Exactly.
3 generations, and he speaks passionately about realizing that his what people would call disabilities was actually his superpower. To be able to see the world differently and draw characters that no one had ever seen. His art style is completely different. When you see Book of Life, you know that is his work.
I
If
love
you,
that. I love that so
yeah.
much. It's so
And he's
great.
like,
So
it
cool.
was, if I wasn't autistic, I never would have created these things, because how would I have seen these images if I wasn't on the spectrum and saw things differently than everybody else?
Yeah, that is so inspirational. So
Oh, wait till you
inspirational.
actually hear his story. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So it is, tickets are going on sale, to get back to it. It will fill up. We tap it, I think, at 150 tickets. So we have VIP and all access, and we also have daily tickets if you just want to come and see one speaker. So please come on out, get your tickets soon if you're in our area, or if you want to travel, come on down.
sounds great. I love it. It sounds so cool. Yes, 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 yes. So is there anything else you'd like to add?
Wow, good question. Hmm. Reach out if you want. We are building Arts Across America, and which is part of a creativepreneur. We want to help creatives, actors, singers, dancers, or even business owners who wish they were still doing what they loved when they were younger. We are creating a little mastermind through Arts Across America, and we put together a business in the box. Basically, if you want to create an arts academy similar to what we're doing now, you can do it under a nonprofit or for-profit corporation. And we have ways for you to get funded, and how we have all the curriculum for you. If you're a creative and you want to make a pivot and you want to be back into your creative space, we can definitely help you. You can go to jdscreativeacademy.org. You can go to jdsactorsstudio.com and reach out to us. We would love to do a consultation. It's free. We can do a free 1 hour Zoom. If you're local and you're an actor, by all means, we have a Thursday at 7 o'clock at night. We have an adult class, which is a free audit. Come on down. You'll get the free audit in the class. You can meet me. We can talk about your career. We can talk about, getting back into the arts where you were when you were younger and how much you loved it, right?
Yeah, that sounds great. I love that. I love that. That sounds so fantastic. Well, it was so great to have you on our show. Thank you so much for
Thank you for
being
having
here and
me. And
all
it's
your
great to
tips.
see you. I haven't seen you in
Yeah.
several months. So yay.
Oh, yay. Cool. Love it so much. And love having you watch our show every Tuesday, 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Pivot to the life you love and live life abundantly. Change and shift your change and shift your energy. Pivot